Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Raphael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Hey, good morning. I hope you're doing amazing. Happy Tuesday to you. When you consider tough conversations, sometimes we are part of them, sometimes we're listening to them. But why is it important to have these conversations? Sometimes the truth has to come out, and that's where the tough conversation can come in. Let's consider family situations where there has to be a conversation where we are talking to our loved ones, and they may be doing something that we don't necessarily agree with them. No one wants to be told what to do or how to do something. But if we can get them to, let's consider tough conversations are really negotiations, right? Sometimes you have to talk to somebody and let them know that how you feel about them, what you're thinking, how they are acting. These are things that can sometimes cause turmoil. They can cause pain. They can cause people not talking to each other, maybe for a few days, a few hours, few years, maybe many years. Has there been a conversation that you've had with someone in the past and you no longer talk to them? I've had them. I've had conversations with people, or I've been part of a conversation that's been had behind my back where a really great friend of mine used to come over, sleep at my house, hang out, go here, go there. We used to share meals, all these different things. And he started dating a friend of mine's sister. And I found out that he was saying all these horrible things about me to his new girlfriend. And the only reason I ever found out is because my friend said to me, so and so said this about you. I'm like, oh, really? Why would they say that? Well, he's dating my sister. He tells her, a lot of different things. Okay. I said, no big deal. But then it kept happening. And then there was dates and times and all these different things. And I was like, that's not 100% true. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. I'm like, why is he embellishing stuff? Why is he trying to look good in her eyes? So I actually confronted him on it. And he said that he never had those conversations with her. But how did she know certain things that she would never have known? Because it was him and I and maybe a few other people there. But she was not present. So how would she know? And I just said, you know what? I thought we were friends. And he said, oh, no, we're friends. I said, no, we're not. I said, now when you're trying to hurt me like this, I said, listen, have a good life. And I walked away from a great friendship because if you're going to talk bad about me behind my back, you're not my friend. Talk bad about me in front of me. That I would prefer. This way I have a chance to, to say my word, to put my piece into it. So that was a tough conversation for me because I really enjoyed his company. He was an amazing human being, but except for that one flaw where he would just to make himself look better, he would hurt someone else. So that not too cool. So tough conversations. Why must we have them? Well, we must have them because we have to set things right. Right. We want to move forward from a situation. Interventions are tough conversations when somebody is doing drugs, when somebody is stealing money, when somebody is even with the wrong person who they don't see it, but the person is hurting them. They're doing things. If you caught your future sister-in-law cheating on your brother or your sister or boyfriend, whatever, how would you bring it up? That's a tough conversation because they don't want to hear it. They're not going to believe you when you say, well, so and so is cheating on you or lying to you, this or the other. They may say, no, I don't believe you. Hey, Janet, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. So tough conversations. If and I've been in this situation where I saw a friend's wife cheating, but then I also saw my friend who was cheating on his wife, and I knew them both. It's tough. It's tough. So when you consider the conversation that we have to have with somebody, in that, do you want to just come out and blurt it, or do you want to kind of suggest ideas? Because you don't want to be the bearer of bad news. That's a tough conversation, and sometimes you may lose a friend because they will not believe you, and they may continue down that path and in denial, right? And a lot of people live in denial. So how do we handle that? How do we help somebody who we may love, we may adore, we may find a common ground with? So how did I handle my friend's wife cheating on him? I kind of said, hey, I did not directly tell him he was cheating on her, but I would ask him, hey, what's your wife been up to? And this, and, you know, I think I saw your wife at wherever it was, right? And I didn't say she was with somebody. I saw her with somebody. So then that way he would have to start asking, hey, did you see Raphael? And then she would like, because she saw me also but I never said that I saw her with someone. But she had to come clean with him because she actually had to fess up eventually. A lot of times people are not always honest, right? With themselves even. A client of mine told me that he was in a hotel in a different state and he was coming down the elevator holding hands with a girl. And when he got to the lobby, the doors opened and some of her friends, his wife's friends, caught them. And he just said, "Oh, hi, this is my friend so and so," but they were holding hands, so you cannot get away with that. I don't know if those friends ever told her, but I got to tell you, he's still married to this day. So either he fessed up, took care of it on his own, stopped being a cheat. I don't know. We all have things in our lives that we do, but what's the conversation? Some of the tough conversations are with yourself. Think about that. What's a conversation that you must have with someone else, maybe even with yourself? How do you handle these things? What's the one thing that you can do to help somebody in any situation? How do you even start a tough conversation? Remember, when we have a tough conversation, we don't want to start by accusing someone. We kind of want them to come forward on their own. I believe in that. I believe that we should give somebody a chance to come forward and even say, hey, is there something you want to talk to me about? I think there's something you want to talk to me about. What have you been doing? Where have you been going? What's going on? How do we start those conversations? I think it's what's going on, how you been, what have you been doing, um, who have you been with, who have you been hanging out with, even if you're not accusing them of cheating, but who have you been hanging out with? Maybe they're doing drugs, maybe they're doing something that's not necessarily conducive to you um, being in their life anymore. So you may want to find out who they're hanging out with, who their friends are. I never want to be in a situation where I'm with somebody who is doing drugs or maybe has drugs on them. Yes, thank you, Janet. It is a tough subject. But listen, I'm going to tell you one time I was in somebody's car. This is before marijuana was legal in New York. This is probably 20 years ago, maybe a little longer. No, actually, I'll be honest with you. It was almost 30 years ago. I was driving with somebody and I was the passenger. And this person was speeding. And they were going, 10 miles over the speed limit. And we got pulled over by a policeman. And the policeman said to him, have you been smoking or drinking? And he said, no. He goes, are you sure? Then he asked me, and I said, no, I don't drink. If I do drink, it's a social drink. It's one drink. And I definitely don't smoke or do any illegal drugs, or any drugs for that matter. So he said, if I look, because this is when there was ashtrays in cars, right? He goes, if I look in your ashtray, what am I going to find there? He goes, nothing. I got nothing. And then, thank God, for some reason, that police officer let us go. But when we pulled away, that guy was like, thank God. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like, what is it? He goes, I had several joints, pot in my ashtray. Now, had the police officer would have gone into it, I too would have been arrested because the police officer doesn't know whose drugs those were. He could have blamed me for it. So from that moment on, I said, I am never driving with this person ever again. And he and I did not stay friends long because he put me in a tough situation. And I let him know. I said, listen, I said, I would have been in jail and I would have had to try to explain. He said, no, I would have told him it's mine. I said, it doesn't matter. The police officer is not going to believe you. I'm going to have to go and defend myself. And it's not worth it. So that was a friend that I lost. He was a nice guy too. He did drugs. And I didn't know it till that day. I didn't know it till that day. So sometimes it's getting to know people a little bit more than we give them credit for. So we have to ask questions. If you're going to be with somebody, even if you're getting in somebody's car, say, hey, is there anything in your car that can get me arrested? Do you have a gun in your car? Do you have, because here it is. Another time, I was with somebody. This was in Texas. And of course, in Texas, everybody can carry a gun. I didn't know it. So he opens his glove box, pulls out a gun, and says, here, take a look at my gun. I'm like, oh, no, thank you. He wanted me to grab the gun. I'm like, there's no way I'm touching your gun I didn't say that to him. I said, but no, I don't need to grab your gun. I don't need to hold it. Oh, you've ever held? I said, I've had plenty of guns before, but I didn't want to hold his because guess what? My fingerprints would have been on it. So do I want to ever ride with somebody who's putting me in danger in any way? No. So we need to start asking those tough questions when we get into somebody's vehicle. Are there any drugs in the car? Is there any weapon in the car? I don't want to go to jail for someone else's things. Also, if you're coming to my house, don't bring drugs, don't bring weapons, don't bring anything. And anybody who knows me, I'm very adamant about these things. So tough conversations for sure. It's a tough subject. We want to be able to always live life so that when our last day comes, you are happy with the life you've lived. Thank you, Janet. Yes, you are so right. You have to draw your lines in the sand for sure. Sometimes it's not for the best things, but it's not for only the peace of mind that you have, but it's your safety. I agree. It is for your peace of mind, but your safety. And listen, your livelihood. I mean, if I would have gone to jail because somebody put me in harm's way, or now they think I did the drugs, oh my God, what would that have done to my career, my livelihood? Then I would have had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars defending myself when I did nothing wrong. So, yes, tough conversations, but sometimes we have to have them. And sometimes, listen, we need to be proactive with our lives because at the end of our life, if we had one day to fully reflect how we lived our lives, did we do right? Did we do right by people? Did we help them? I realized a very long time ago that my purpose in this world is to help as many people as I can. And for that reason alone, it is important that I take care of me first so that I can help more people. So consider your life, consider the tough conversations you may have to have along the way. Thank you so much, Janet. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I truly, truly appreciate you. Do yourself a favor. Do me a humongous favor. Like, share this show with others. I bring amazing tips all the time. Some tips are tips you already know, tips you've heard before, but sometimes it might be a new tip. Like today's conversation was about tough conversations. This is the tip. You may have to have a tough conversation, but don't come accusing people. Start with letting them speak. Give them the space to speak. Communication is everything. Communication, communication, communication. Thank you, my friends. Have an exceptional rest of your day. And make sure to like, follow, and share these tips with your friends, family, and loved ones. I will see you tomorrow. Take care.